I like that we're getting to stay late after the music. My friends would say that that would be like me. I can't believe, coming in here today, there's a back room where we gather, and I like following movies, and a famous actor, Andy Garcia, is here, and I saw him, and I'm wearing a beanie. But I got a picture with him, and I was pretty excited. I'd like to thank President Tedlow and the Board of Trustees for allowing me to share here just a few minutes with everyone. I would say this: I'm humbled and grateful also. We're being recognized just briefly while you are all being honored. And just walking in, the one thing, I'm pretty good at like sensing a room and the people in the room, and I just felt unbelievable about the eyes that I saw, envious of the eyes that I saw here, envious that this was so long ago for me, I can't recall who spoke at my graduation. So hopefully, when you're older and your hair grays, there'll be something, maybe one little thing that we or I can leave you with. The one thing I know for sure, and we talk about this all the time with our players, is there are so many people, and President Tedlow alluded to this, there's so many people invested in you and your well-being that you might think the number is 6, 7 or 8, maybe it's an aunt, a parent, a brother or sister. It's different for everyone here. But I would venture to say that that number's much bigger than that. There are so many people excited to see like what's ahead and that are going to be following you every step of the way. And we remind our players of that. And here's the thing, all the people that are just present here, I'm actually one of those people because my wife is with you. She's graduating today, and I promised her listen, she's in that number, and I promised her that I was not going to make her stand up, so she's just out there. But I want you to know, last night I was telling her I was going to make her stand on a chair, and she was mortified. She said we'd be divorced before the ceremony was over. I don't want that to happen. But so I have something in common with everyone that's got an elevated seat. I've got something in common because there's a sense of pride today, like the amount of time that I've had a chance to see as her husband. And then it's a little bit, I'll be honest, somewhat awkward to get recognized on her day. You know what I mean? Because it's her day and it's your day. And so I started thinking, man, what do I say? Well, you get a card, right? Some of you have had balloons or flowers, whatever it is, you get a card. And I got the card today and I just realized that I left it in my pocket. All right, so I thought it'd be pretty cool then maybe if I just read now listen, what I'm getting ready to say to her in a card is something that everyone here is saying to you at home, and this just represents a little bit of how we all feel about you. On the card is a dog because we have 2. And the dog somehow has the diploma in its mouth and a really neat beanie on top. And it said, "Grad, you chased your dreams." And I wrote down, "Skylene, you did it. It's really impressive. It's unbelievable." She had gone to school and graduated and then gone on to nursing school. And here it is 15 years later, and then going to school for 3 more years. If you ask me, I'm so proud of you. I'm so amazed all right, by you, and so happy for you. I love you to pieces, Sean. Everyone has those people in our lives that are pulling for us. The only two people more proud of her today, and I'm not going to ask them, but her parents are here somewhere as well. And so I'm telling you this because it's really symbolic of every one of you. And it may not be a parent, it might be someone, but all of us have got an advocate and have a lot to do with where we're at right now. That's not going to change when you graduate today. They're going to be constantly following your progress and asking you and staying in touch with you, and your achievements that are to follow, they're going to be so proud about. In the Galapagos Islands, iguanas are born. All right, their enemy are these venomous snakes. And so when the iguanas, I tell you this story because we actually did this in a team meeting. We had a brand new projection TV, and I Google searched, what's the best way to show this new 5K technology? And they said this was the movie, and I thought, all right, we'll put it on. And the iguanas are born underneath the sand, and when the egg breaks, they jump out of the sand, and at that moment, the snakes are chasing the iguana. And the iguana has to get to the rocks where their parents are, and a third of them get eaten. So here's the deal, you have to hit the ground running. We spent a lot of time, we as an organization with the Saints and many other teams spent a lot of time trying to figure out how do we predict who's going to be successful. And there have been a lot of studies on this. You guys might be familiar with some of them. I know for years West Point was trying to figure out why their freshman class had an attrition of 10 to 12% when they were supposedly getting the best students, the best leaders from around the country. And we too were constantly looking at, hey, how do we become more effective at predicting who's going to be successful? And it wasn't talent driven. Certainly talent had something to do with it. But ultimately, this topic was studied by a doctor named Angela Duckworth, and the term grit came up, and there's a book on it. She's followed up with another book, and we started to establish grit scores. And what does that mean? And so in essence, it's one's ability to constantly see something through. That's easier said than done. We all, like every one of us has gotten to a point where we're like, hey, enough. And so if there was one thing that I could convey to you that I think had a lot to do with maybe some of my success, but also some of our success, I would say it's that ability to constantly get back up. And I can't tell you like how many times you're going to be knocked over. Some of you have been already. A third of you are the first in your family to go to college. Like that's unbelievable. Man, I wish I could sing. And I certainly wouldn't want to now. Tub Thumping is the name of a song in the 90s. I'm dating myself. From a band, Chumbawamba. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. Now, I did some research on that, and evidently it's fairly political. But that would be the song I would sing, because it constantly goes back to the same lyrics. I get knocked down, I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. And that would be my wish for this class. Congratulations.